Hello, everyone. On this episode, we have a very special guest. We have Manus Hurst. Hey, Manus, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. What about you?
I'm excited. I'm really glad I could have you on my show. And you told me
That's
about
nice.
I could see that you have a pretty awesome mic and all that stuff. Even you do a podcast, right?
Yeah, right. I do have a podcast on Spotify. So
Uh-huh.
yeah,
It's interesting. So like most people who I do interviews with, again, like they do not have a mic, and that's okay. It's fine.
yeah,
Like if
that's
it, yeah,
completely fine. Yeah.
yeah. Nowadays you can just connect your phone. That's how I record my first episode with on my podcast. Like I had a mic, but I didn't have a stand or anything. I didn't even know I could use this thing on my computer. So I have a Mac, right? So I use my iPhone and I just plugged it in, and I could just use that as a microphone. That's how I did my first
Yeah,
episode.
yeah.
And it's as good that mic, the iPhone mic is as good as any common mic. It's as good. I think it's better than this one, to be honest. Maybe it's because the
Yeah,
audio
like yeah,
quality, yeah, it sounds much better, and I really like that. So
indeed. Yeah.
yeah, like you hear all these people, they talk about stuff like we don't have microphones or we don't have any equipment. Let me just tell you, okay. I found this mic at my house. Okay, it's a Tata Sky mic. It's a karaoke mic.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think my father got this in 2015, 2016 when they just introduced the karaoke feature in Tata Sky. And I think my father, I don't know, either he bought it for like 700, 800 rupees or he got it free from them. Whatever it was, it's a pretty good mic. And we would do karaoke and stuff. But then slowly we stopped doing it as expected because we don't do it every single day. And it's been
Okay.
there. It's been lying there ever since. All these years I would look at it and I'm like, why have I still kept this mic? And I never knew I would need it now. Right. And then
Cool,
another thing is,
man.
and then there's boom stand, like the stand over here. I got it from Amazon Pay. Like my father got a cash back through Amazon Pay from credit cards. So 500 mein I got this entire stand. So basically it's in my free setup now.
Okay, so your entire setup is kind of jugaad, right?
Yeah, kind of Jugaad, yes. But it's pretty much free. It used to be pretty Jugaad back then before I got the boom stand. And this stand was basically free because I got cash back and I looked for it. 500 ka mil gaya mujhe. And I had like 1500 ka cash back because of credit card spending from last year. 2020 में बहुत खर्चा किया ना हम लोगों ने credit cards के through. So you get
Right.
that. Right. So you get that over here. It's pretty
So
impressive.
that's cool, right?
Yeah.
Like you,
I'm happy
you got
because
your stuff.
yeah. I'm happy because like the starter mic was costing 8,000 rupees, the first one. But there are other expensive ones that go up even more. But free mein ho gaya. I'm happy.
Yeah. Like if it's doing your work, then it's fine. It
Yeah.
should do the job. That's it.
I know.
Doesn't matter what you have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like how
Yeah.
if you got the mic on your own or you
No, this thing is kind of the basic one from which I bought from Amazon, I guess. I forgot the name of the company, not a famous one, but it works pretty good if you'll see my podcasts and all. It
mhm.
works pretty fine. Like I'm in village currently, so this COVID stuff and also work from home. So
Yeah.
I'm in my village in Bihar. So there are a lot of noisy stuff going on like, every here and there. So I needed a mic from company meetings and everything I was doing.
Mhm.
So I bought it like from for 4500 or something. But it really
Yeah.
works. Like it really does your job pretty well. So I'm happy with
Uh-huh.
it.
That's the thing,
Yeah.
right? You just need something to start. If you don't have a mic, use a phone. I don't like
Yeah,
the Anchor
simply.
app, but still use it. It's very easy. If you, even if you know how to code, I'm kind of figuring out how to code my own podcast website without having to use an external host and put on AWS for free. You know how the system works now. Like you get 1 year credit for free with the new account. You just keep on creating a new account
Right,
every
right.
time. So that's how a lot of
So
people are actually using it.
Anchor is kind. See, if someone is just getting started in podcast, Anchor is really good. Like if they don't have finance to like host their podcast on
Hmm.
something where they need to pay like some advanced stuff, so they can
Hmm.
just host their podcast on Anchor and it will just like spread it everywhere. So
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
good thing for newcomers. But yeah, if you're like intermediate or something, you should spend a quite a few bucks, and you'll get some great platforms. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
cool.
I'm I'm also doing it on Anchor these days.
Gotcha. No, like I mean, it's so easy. Like for the RSS, I mean, you just have one RSS feed and you just keep on posting it on submit it once. Like you only have to do it once on all these platforms. Like you only
Once,
submit once. It's not like you have to do it
once.
every time. Like you've done it once, then it's cool. Like you just upload on your host every time. And I think the best part about any YouTube or podcast nowadays is that they have the schedule feature. Right. So I mean,
Yeah,
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 I mean, I have scheduled so many podcasts now, so it gives me a little bit of more space to plan and do things properly. Because like I get when I'm trying see like when you want to try and do something big, and especially since I'm just one guy, like everything is done by myself. I edit the audio myself. I prepare the video myself. I create the micro content for LinkedIn myself. I prepare the
yeah,
reel
man. It's
versions
kind of
myself. Right. So it becomes way more convenient for me, and it gives me a good amount of time to actually execute whatever I want to.
right, right. Cool, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So now, like, how would you introduce yourself to my audience? Like, let's just assume that nobody knows who you are. How would you introduce
Yeah.
yourself?
So I'm a full-time security consultant, and I'm a part-time bug bounty hunter on Synac. And
Mm-hmm.
I have been doing my job since almost 2 years now, and bug bounty since 1.5 years, I guess, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So, and I write blogs. I do have a podcast. If someone wants to go and listen, it's on Spotify named the CodeCrackers Voice, and a few episodes are there. So if
Mm-hmm.
someone is interested, they can go ahead and he or she can listen. And along with it, I do a lot of stuff in infosec only. Like I write blogs and like I use Twitter a lot for helping people. If someone wants to tip or something, just ping me there. I'll help you. And nothing else. My whole days, I'm like whole day goes in hacking and stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
9 to 5 job and then a bug bounty. So that's it.
It's interesting, man. So like, how did you start in cybersecurity? That's I mean that's what everybody would ask you. So I just want to know in a like I just want to know exactly how you started in cybersecurity.
Yeah, cool. So it was back in 2017. I was in third year of my BCA. I'm a BCA student.
Mm-hmm.
So that time I saw a movie where a guy was hacking something, and I didn't even know what the term is hacking. So it was quite interesting. Like he was getting into system in a few quick few minutes, which is not possible in real world scenario. But
Mm-hmm.
anyways, it was interesting. So I went ahead like what is doing on terminals and all. Like I didn't even know what is a terminal. So I went ahead, I searched what is hacking and how people are doing it on like YouTube or
Mm-hmm.
something. So in back in 2016, 17, if you'll go to YouTube and open YouTube for hacking, you'll see a lot of videos of SQL injections and apps like Droid Harveys. Then you have
Mm-hmm.
a Wi-Fi jammer or something like that. So these kind
Yeah.
of apps, those actually didn't work a lot, but it gave me a intro of hacking actually. So I went
Mm-hmm.
ahead, I learned some Wi-Fi hacking, then I came along with web applications. But after that, like there was a hold on my learning, like exams. And the last year, if like you're in second year, right?
Yeah, yeah. I just started
So
second year.
yeah. So you'll come to know how it feels like in last year. So much hectic, man. So
Mm-hmm.
so many stuffs were going on. So I left learning things again. Like once I had a basic knowledge of some common terms, not everything, like just 1% of 1%. So
Mm-hmm.
then I went to Bangalore. I learned a few things there. Then I did my CEH, and somehow I got into like I got into touch with some people who were doing bug bounties. So then I came to know
Mm-hmm.
what bug bounty is. Then that's how it started. I got a job in infosec. Before that, I was in customer support for 1 year. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like working on BPO. I had no idea what to do after BCA. Like I was not that much good at coding, that coding stuff. After
Yeah.
that, nowadays I learned like a few languages like Java, Python and Bash. So, but those just like if you don't have coding language, see, there is a sentence or you can see quote in IT. If you don't know
Mm.
programming languages, just go ahead from interviews in IT interviews, the basic ones which come into campus selection,
Yeah,
they'll
yeah.
yeah, they'll ask you the basic data structures and all, and if you don't know them, just go and run away. So that was the code that time. So I
Hmm.
went to Bangalore. I didn't have idea what to do. I just grab a
Yeah.
customer support
And
job just to like,
yeah, I
go
mean, like
ahead.
you're just saying, no, like one thing that I have I've had a lot of conversations with my seniors and other guests, and one thing a few of them told me is that like, this is for any student who's trying to pursue coding and wants a tech placement, that the reason most people get into hacking and stuff is because they don't understand data structures and algorithms, and they're like, okay, maybe if I learn hacking, I don't have to go through DS. I'll go and actually face the interview and know have that knowledge. But it's the other way around. If you're getting into hacking, you have to know DS algo because the interviewer expects you to have a lot of knowledge in everything related to computer and programming. They want you to know as much as possible.
See, if someone is like in someone is in confusion, if hacking is easy, I'd like to tell you hacking is all about programming. Hacking is all about programming. If anyone is coming on interviews or anyone like hacking don't need programming at all. Yeah, there are few bugs which are business logics where you don't need programming stuff. But in a lot of things like the big hackers, the huge
Mhm.
ones, they earn like 100K, 200K in a year from bug bounties.
Right.
They have a very good grasp on programming languages, the scripting languages and all. So hacking is all about breaking codes. That's it. So if you will never get a 25 or 20K bug from a business logic. You will need to get it from like programming errors, right? If you have a
Right.
programming knowledge, you'll go ahead and check what is the error in the code. You can go ahead and break it so that
Mhm.
it will reproduce a bug. So that's how people earn a lot of money. So programming is very much I would say it's a necessity if you want to be really good at hacking. So if you are going far from programming and stuff, it's really hard for you to learn a lot of things in hacking, I would say.
Yeah. Right. So I mean, thank you for that because a lot of people I mean that's what I've heard. I mean, I'll see this for myself when I'm in my third and fourth year because I don't know, like we're having all this conversation that people are investing in cybersecurity, number of cybersecurity jobs are going to go up. There was this guy from Australia and another guy from Germany who were telling me on the podcast that India, like how India has become the hub for software development nowadays. Like we need Indians for software development. I
Yeah,
asked him
right,
from an
right.
outsider's perspective. Similarly, he said that maybe Indians are going to be um, the hacking hub or the cybersecurity hub for the world. I mean, he says it's bad for the other countries, but there's going to be tremendous opportunity in India and for Indians to make sure that we get a lot of cybersecurity business of other companies because first of all, it's awesome. I mean, it's going to make India rich. I genuinely think it's going to
Right,
play a massive role in making India filthy rich. That's one aspect.
right,
Second, there's
right.
going to be
Cyber,
yeah, there's going to be massive employment opportunity. That's what I see. I mean, but I always feel like maybe I'm too young to just say these words out, but I'm just sharing whatever I've heard and whatever I've spoken with all my other guests, and that's exactly what they're telling me. So, what are your thoughts when you hear
no,
all this
yeah,
stuff?
yeah. So actually, it's right. Whatever you're saying is quite true. Like in upcoming 5 years or 10 years, maybe India would be a huge hub for cybersecurity or web application pen testers because web is not going anywhere, right? And so are the web hackers. So since India has a like India have a lot of companies here, and like jobs opportunities are huge, but the only thing India needs is uh, they need a proper plan. Like if you'll see in UK and US, they have a lot of cybersecurity jobs. India, in every, like, not a lot of startups hold any cybersecurity or web application testers. They give their project files to any freelancer, and they'll do that. But if you'll see in other countries, it's completely different. They have
Mm-hmm.
proper jobs for every position. Like if they want a security engineer or security consultant, they'll just hire it. They won't give their projects simply to any freelancer or something. They have
Yeah.
like a lot of jobs, and India don't have that much job here. So
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
only thing India needs to work on, and then India will be surely a
So,
huge
right, I
platform
mean,
for
that, that's what I
security
think, right?
like
Like, we don't have a
person. Yeah,
native demand for cybersecurity as much as other countries do. Right. Like,
right.
let's say we have a startup on, let's say we have a fintech startup, for example. Okay. Simple example. We need, like, again, like in fintech, it's composite of cybersecurity. Let's talk about a retail startup. Right. We have a
Yeah,
retail startup, and we like, as I don't think any Indian like cares that much about the security and privacy of their devices. Like, let's talk about WhatsApp right now. Like, when that news came on that WhatsApp's gonna share your data with Facebook. I mean, they were doing that before also, but now they're doing that legally. Like, because the European
right.
Union asked them to, right? So then people flipped out. They're like, "Oh my God, WhatsApp is so bad. They're evil. This is so unfair." And then people start talking about using Telegram and I think Signal, right? The Signal
Signal. Yeah,
application. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, here's what happened. Okay, there's no way people are was gonna like people may have installed the application Telegram. Some of them may have even installed Signal, but we're not the kind of people who are going to make a complete transformation to Telegram, because all our family WhatsApp groups are going to be on WhatsApp without moving them to Telegram.
right.
We are
Right.
not moving them to Signal. Right. We may use all three of them. Like, let's say I have a few college friends. If I feel like tomorrow, I'll make a Telegram group with them. But and I'll also have a WhatsApp group with them. Right. So
Right.
that's what I think. Like, we don't care that much about our privacy. That's what I've learned from people's reaction. And like, the difference between the people's reaction versus their action, physical action
Right.
towards the security policy really made me understand. And I've drawn a conclusion that people don't care about the security in India.
Not really. Like if you'll say on a general basis, 90% of people don't even know what actually security is and how they can be hacked. 95% don't even, if you'll send them like social engineering link or phishing link, they'll just go for it. They'll just
Mm-hmm.
put their email ID and password and go ahead. And I'm telling you, like 90% of Indians are like not aware of that much of security things, and not like
Mm-hmm.
these news channels will show you every like stuff, but they won't even show you a single episode of security or something. So that's the
Fair
biggest
enough.
downside of India. But what we need to do is we really need to tell people how necessary it is, and this is the biggest asset you have. Like if someone has your password or email ID or something like that, he can do a lot of stuff, right? But people here in India, they don't single thing about security,
Mm-hmm.
they just think that government is doing everything. They'll just take care of the security or privacy thing. That's not fair. And you know what? Why it happens? Because in US or UK, it was like in their syllabus, in their basic syllabus or fifth or sixth standard,
Mm-hmm.
they have security things. So almost everyone at least knows how they can be hacked. Okay,
Yes.
and if something has went wrong, they know, and they have been hacked. So
Right. Right.
that's the difference between like UK, US, Germany, or whatever countries who are far ahead in
Right.
India in terms of security.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the main thing. Yeah.
Right. Like, I think one reason, I don't know, maybe it wasn't introduced before, is because um we had this assumption that a lot of people in India don't own these devices. We never thought we would be using smartphones. And by we, I mean the government.
Right.
Right. Like, I mean, and
Right.
I'm not targeting a particular party. I mean, they're all equally responsible because they were all in this together when they try to reform or bring out any changes in the education system. Now, I don't want to say stuff like the Indian education is crap, because that's not true. We both know it. It's not we all talk about education system reforms. Now with the internet, I don't think we even need schools. The only reason I need a degree is for formal purposes. The only reason I need a 10th degree, a 10th certificate, excuse me, is to qualify for basic stuff on a formal level. Right? Because even
Right.
for college right now, we have data structures and all these subjects going on in second year right now. I'm learning them on Code with Harry and Naman Thattar was YouTube channels.
Right.
I've already
So
run,
so
like I don't
that's
need college for that.
cool. And that's what people are doing these days. Like there are a lot of resources which you can learn from internet. You
Mhm.
see, schools and colleges are just a formality these days. For India and in foreigners, it's been like years like this.
Mhm.
They're just learning from internet itself. I'll give you an example.
Mhm.
Um, let's say 15 years back, it was a research from BBC that India has only 1% of people, a group of people who had Ethernet, like the Wi-Fi connection. Okay, the broadband.
Yeah. When was this?
Okay, in it was 2005 or 6 maybe,
Ah,
and on
from
the
five or
same time
six.
US had 78% of them. So
Mm-hmm.
you can understand how ahead they are in terms of internet users and all.
Mm.
So so obvious thing is they'll have a better security policies and all, right? So
Yes.
that's one more thing. Like India is like behind this thing, and a lot of population live in villages. So in village you can't go ahead and tell everyone what the security is. Like
Mm-hmm.
they don't really have time to listen this thing. So
Yes.
until they get hacked, they just don't care about it.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
So, like, I mean,
yeah,
let's talk about what every citizen in India does. Like, everybody watches news channels. Like, I don't watch news channels anymore, but most people they watch news channels. They watch all these shows. I mean, if you can put out messages about coronavirus, why can't you put out messages about basic cybersecurity, like how to protect yourself
obviously.
from OTP scams, how to protect yourself from simple social engineering attack. Don't click on malicious links. Why do we
Banking
get
calls,
yeah, like why do we get stupid SMSs that how to keep yourself safe from the police instead of a commercial? Like because even you know that commercials make more sense or a TV ad
make more
makes more
sense.
sense than a text that nobody's gonna read. Right.
Obviously, see, visual things have more impact on your mind than the
Mhm.
readable things. Simple, that's a simple thing.
Yes.
If you will go through a PDF book and on the same time you will see a video of the same topic, you will have a better understanding from a video. So
Yes.
government must do this thing to put some
Mhm.
advertisement on television, on news channels, or the channels who have been watched a lot on like
Mhm.
in Indian homes. So that's a good idea if government can do this. But I'm like I we can just hope it. I'm really there is
Yeah.
like 1% chance government
There's a
will do
very
this,
low chance of
but
this
that's
happening, but
yeah,
it would be pretty impressive. I mean, hey, you did this for the coronavirus, like the physical pandemic. Now this cyber pandemic. You want to talk about how I don't have the numbers here, but I can tell you the amount of damage that's going to be caused to Indians, the amount of money India is going to lose. Like not just Indians, the entire country's economy could be lost. And I mean, I follow all these Instagram pages who are exposing scammers. Majority of these scammers are from China. A huge number is from China.
China.
They have all these Chinese websites, and they have terrible UX UI. Okay, it's not even like they have beautiful UX UI, and they have all these promises that you invest money in, let's say, shoes, and you will get you invest 500 rupees in this, and you will get passive income of 50 rupees, 100 rupees per day. Like, I mean, such weird
Right, right.
promises are made on
A
these
lot of
websites,
things are
and
going on.
people actually click on it, right? I mean, I won't click because the UX UI is terrible, so I can figure it out. Like, it's a terribly made website. Okay, but again,
Right.
like from a national level standpoint, I think China is way ahead of us in terms of cybersecurity because, first of all, their culture, the new culture, they reformed their culture. If we talk about preserving our culture, they recreated their culture and built it around basic principles of life, which was like working very hard. Yeah, like they had this culture of 9 to 9,
Right.
6 days a week for so many years. Like, I think I heard this on the Ranveer show with Kunal Shah. It's a recent podcast. If you've heard of it, you can just check it out. He I heard Kunal Shah and
Uh,
Ranveer, they spoke about basic principles of productivity. And how we all talk about everywhere, like nowadays, because of work from home, people don't want to work, they want to work less. Like they want to work like they live in America or Europe, and they expect to be paid that way. But I don't think they
right,
understand that, like when we talk about, oh, we're behind in America, I think America is I think it's more than 300 years old, right? It has worked very hard over the last century, over the last couple centuries, to get where it is today. China has worked even harder in lesser time. Like it has done. I don't appreciate the way they've like burnt out every single citizen by this 9 to 9, 6 days a week system. But they managed to get where they are today in in a few decades, right? To put this
right.
in perspective, imagine you're in 12th standard and you have board exams in March. Right, March.
Okay.
Let's say you have exams in March 2022. Now the real toppers, like they have been studying very hard, like 10 hours, 11 hours. And since when, you don't even know. Like they probably started in let's say your boards are in 2022. They started in Jan 2022. Excuse me, Jan 2021.
One.
Right.
Yeah.
So they studied the entire year. They started back then. Like they finished their 11th and they started their 12th. A lot of my friends who actually did really good. One of my friends got an all India rank 600 in JEE Advanced. He went to IIT Hyderabad now.
Yeah,
He
that's
told
cool.
me, yeah, like he started a month before the school actually even started. Like, he was through with the syllabus and he was doing coaching, so he already knew the syllabus. So, and he did that continuously for the entire year, like for the entire 1 2 years, which is why he was able to get such a huge result. And during the last 1 or 2 months, I could see them totally relaxed. Like these topics, they were so relaxed about exams. You could see them on social media, you could see them having fun because they could afford to, right? They had reached a level where they could afford to
Right,
take out time for themselves. Now let's compare this to the
right,
average
right,
people, most people who haven't studied, who haven't done anything the entire year, and they're studying in the last 2 3 months. Then what happens then? And then they just compare themselves to the toppers. They're like, okay, if this topper guy, see, like look at this guy, he's only studying thoda a little bit now, even I should behave the same way. I mean, you don't realize that he's been studying so hard for the entire semester, the entire year.
right,
You haven't seen
right,
that part. Similarly over here, right? I mean, we haven't seen how hard these countries have worked, how they have built an ecosystem from scratch, and how they've developed themselves to a point where they can afford to say stuff like, oh, we're going to give out, let's say, I think America is giving out a lot of stimulus checks now because they have money to give. They
right.
people, I mean, some people have this people are moving to 4 day work weeks now, whatever that means. Like 4 day work
In
weeks, 3 day
Japan,
work
yeah,
weeks. Yeah, yeah. Right. Because these countries, they have worked very hard to get where they are today. They can,
right,
like, they have reached a point where they can literally afford to work a little less and, chill a little bit. Like India has
right.
just started to grow. And you're telling,
India, yeah,
like, we've
yeah,
just
you are right.
started to
Like,
grow.
see, India have a couple of problems which are not with every countries. Like, Indian population is huge, the first thing,
Mhm.
and like area is very less. You'll see compared to China's.
Yes,
China
yes.
is the first, like in population stuff, but they have a great area of land, so like
Mhm.
they can move ahead. But India have a lot of things. Like the worst thing is politics. We all know, and the second thing is this population stuff, and third thing is the education system. If you'll see, except a few states, the education system is really very poor, below than average. And
That's
if
true.
India wants to, yeah, if India wants to grow like any other developed country, the first thing they need to change is the education system. They have been continuing the same education system since like 20 years, and
I
in
think,
Japan it changes every 2 years. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Like you're saying, like we're talking about education system. It like what I said before. Like I don't think you need to depend on education system anymore. If you are listening to this podcast, you have access to the internet. Like we talk about education
Right.
system, like because here's what that's my point, right? Most people are coming up with excuses that they don't want to work hard or they don't want to do anything. And I mean, I don't know, like when people say, even my parents tell me you put out so much content. Like, I mean, I figured a way out to put out like around 4 to 5 reels a day and so many different videos a day. So I put out a lot of content on a daily basis. And my parents, everybody asked me that you don't get tired because you work for. I said no, I don't get tired. I don't feel tired. Right? Like,
Right.
I mean, I read this thing in a book. I don't remember which book, and I saw a video on it. Like, there's something called the state of flow. Have you ever experienced this? Like
Absolutely.
the best place to experience this is when you're giving an exam, a board exam for 3 hours. Right, those three
Right.
hours you are
Right.
so focused on the paper, nothing else matters. That
Right.
that
Eh,
like every single minute counts. Like, I mean, I think it's called the soldier's minute. It's like you have that 1 minute in the exam in which no time before the pass, no time before the 1 minute counts, no time the minute after counts. It's that 1 minute that changes everything.
Right.
Right. So this is a group of those 1 minutes put together. Like you're that
Right.
deep and focused. Right. So that's
So
me when I'm working.
yeah,
Like, do you feel that way when you try and look for
completely agree with
vulnerabilities?
you. And plus,
Hello?
uh, yeah, sorry, please come again. Like it was just
I know, it's
lagging
okay. Yeah, there's a
somehow.
little bit of lag today. I don't
Yeah,
know
now it's fine.
why.
Now it's fine. Now it's fine.
I know, that's cool. That's okay. So I was just asking
Yeah, yeah. So
yeah,
you were asking something.
so how often do you get into a state of flow when you're let's say let's talk about bug bounties now. Like when you talk about bug bounty hunting, when you're looking for bugs and when you're scanning looking for vulnerabilities, how often do you go into a state of flow?
Right. So see, in bug bounty stuff, it is like love-hate relationship. Okay. Sometimes if you'll get some bugs, which will get paid good, you
Mm-hmm.
will be in a flow. Like you can hunt for 8 9 straight hours. Like
Mm-hmm.
you won't even like see the timings. If you're starting it like suppose from 6 p.m., you will be continuing doing it till 3 4 a.m.
Nice.
If you're getting that thing, you know where you are reaching, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you don't see the timing. Suppose what happens in bug bounties or any like in our field and pen testing and stuff. Suppose you have to break a thing, like you know there is a
Mm-hmm.
vulnerability, and now you are challenging yourself. Like if you have something, you have something, you hold something, you will break this, and it works for
Mm-hmm.
me. Like I give that challenge to myself. Like the whole knowledge which I have, I'll put it here till I'm able to break it and get something from it. So that is the flow I apply in my work. Like until I get something, I don't go away. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't live in between. And in this flow, you won't have to see the timings and all. You will not even like you'll not even feel like it's going like 2 3 hours and all. Or you'll see the time in a sudden, and you'll see like 4 5 hours has gone.
Wow.
So it happens when you have a clear goal in your mind. But if you
Mm-hmm.
are something like you just go to bug bounties for some time, like you have already this thing in mind. You
Right.
need to do this thing for 2 hours, and it happens for me as well sometimes, like that the time bondings and all, right? So then we need to see the timing. Like
Yeah.
okay, the 2 hours is done. Will now we'll end this. So that's one thing. But as you were telling, like the work, the flow, it goes like you don't like you don't feel how time passed away, right?
Yeah.
So this thing is like it applies in a lot of fields. If
Mm-hmm.
you'll see, if you have a goal in your mind, you'll just go ahead with your work and time will pass in a sudden. You will just
Mm-hmm.
feel like you have done a lot of stuff once you see the final time. So it
Right.
happens when you have a clear vision at that time. Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
as you said in exams, your example was like quite very good. I would say we have something in our mind like we have only 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
And we have to do everything in this amount of time. So we don't even see the timing, like how time is going, and it
Yeah.
passes in a sudden. The three hours passes like 3 minutes, and every second counts, as you said. Yeah.
Yes. Right.
So that's how flow works. Yeah.
Wow. I think now we're talking about bug bounties. I'm just I have never done bug bounties before. And I mean I hear a lot of talk about this. There are a lot of Instagram pages that claim to be bug bounty experts. They sell courses accordingly that will teach you bug bounty hunting. Now one of my friends he has put up a link on which he has given us put out some Udemy course and he's downloaded it and it's available for free on his website. So I just looked it up. I mean yeah, the basic understanding is that you understand how the internet works. Okay, like all the
Right.
HTML, JavaScript, CSS, how does everything works in the back end, what's going on. Then there's some talk about basic vulnerabilities like SQL injection, HTML injection, etc., etc. Then
Right. Right.
I'm just curious to know what exactly goes on in bug bounty hunting. Like let's say you've learned all these exercises. Now what do you do? I'm just kind of
Okay.
curious to know like how exactly what's the process behind what you do on a daily basis. Like you find a like you let's say you open a website, let's say Netflix, okay, and then I don't know you
Okay.
open it up in Burp Suite or something, and then you
Yeah.
look and then you look scan some vulnerabilities, you find something, then you write like then what do? You like write a report in a PDF and submit it to them, or they have a separate portal on which you tell them like live ki acha dekho there's this vulnerability or what's
Okay,
going on.
I'll tell you the whole flow. I'll tell
Uh-huh.
you the whole flow. So bug bounties, as you know already, I assume you know what bug bounty is. Like
Mm,
we go ahead and report a bug to the company
mm,
or an organization who is holding a bug bounty program. Okay. So
okay.
suppose Netflix, as you said. So Netflix has a bug bounty program. They are paying for it. We know that already. So now what I will do is I'll go ahead on to their website
Mm-hmm.
and I have a list of vulnerabilities what I can check. It depends on person to person what he knows. So there are a lot of vulnerabilities. Okay, it's not limited. It's all about mindset, how much you can produce. Like
Mm-hmm.
vulnerabilities are countless. It's not about OWASP top 10, like the 10 vulnerabilities which are listed on OWASP. It's not about them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about the unique things you can do with a website. So what happens is you go to a website. Burpsuite is a tool which intercepts the traffics between a server and the user. Okay, so suppose I'm sending
Yes.
something to Netflix. I capture it from Burpsuite, the whole request, what is going through the server. Okay, and
Mm,
then I can modify and send back it to server. So that's what the Burpsuite does, or any intercepting tool does. Like there are a lot of tools these days,
mm-hmm.
Fiddler, and then Jab proxies there.
Yes.
So yeah, so that's the basic kind of stuff. Like what in bug bounty now what we do is we go to website, we check from our experience what could be there. Like you can't apply every vulnerability to a website. Like they are secure. So it depends what are you doing, what are you searching for. Suppose you're going for SQL injection, you
Mm-hmm.
have in mind like you have to find SQL injection on Netflix, for example. Now you'll go to every entry point, okay, or you
Mm-hmm.
will check how it is behaving. And if you feel like there is something like some weird thing is going on, you go ahead and put your efforts, if you are able to exploit it. And if it's get exploited,
Mm-hmm.
you write a like nice report. Like in the report it's mentioned like steps to reproduce whatever you have done to find that vulnerability. Then the first thing is description, like what that vulnerability is and how it
Mm-hmm.
works in real world. Second thing is steps to reproduce, the steps which you followed to find this vulnerability. Third thing is the impact, the most important thing, what it is doing to a website, like how it harms to a website or the users of a website. Okay,
Okay.
these are three things. And the fourth thing is like remediation, how you can fix it. And then we put some resources. Like suppose the developers are not that much good in like hacking stuff, right? They'll
Yeah,
just
yeah,
follow
yeah.
whatever we provide them. They'll just fix the codes and the website, but they will never know the everything of bulk state and all, because this is our job.
Mhm.
So that's why we put some resources for them, like they where they can read the whole stuff, how it went through, if they didn't understand from report somehow. But what we make sure like report is as good as like a fresher can understand the vulnerability. So that's the whole flow. If they accept your report, if it's a
Mhm.
valid submission, you went ahead,
Yes.
you submitted a vulnerability. If it goes valid, they accepted it, like they need to fix it, they will pay you reward basis on the severity, what
Mhm.
basis on the impact. So for example, HTML injection has a low impact on a system. On the other side, SQL injection has a critical impact because it
Mhm.
can just dump the data. So they will pay you like 10k 15k in USD for SQL injection, and sometimes even more. The companies like
Mhm.
Google, Apple will pay you like 50k. So
Mhm.
it is like so that's how the whole workflow goes in bug bounty. And
Okay.
that's the only thing we keep doing for like years. So
Okay.
the more you find, the more you earn.
Interesting. So, I mean, like, thank you for explaining this to me. I mean, I've never done this before. I mean, I try to Google and understand what exactly goes on. The first thing that pops up again because of search engine optimization is all these courses. How to get started in bug bounty. You can make money too. You know this vulnerability. You should know this vulnerability. Buy my course, etc., etc., etc. And to be honest, a lot of these courses are crap. I mean, I think I saw your post on LinkedIn or something. I mean, somebody on Twitter, they posted a very basic SQL injection or simple HTML injection, and they're claiming they got paid $4,500 for it.
No, see, a lot of times these days you can't just believe on screenshots. People
Yeah,
just
yeah,
edit with it with inspect element, go ahead and post on Twitter and
yeah.
LinkedIn. And that's how, if anyone like a fresher who is just getting into bug bounties, I'll just let you know, like, don't believe everything you see on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like a few times I accept the things are real, but not every time. If you see 25k, 30k bugs every time, a lot of people just edit it these days for fame. Okay.
Okay.
So, and one more thing is there, no security course or bug bounty course can teach you bug bounty or hacking. Hacking is not a thing which can be learned from courses. It is a mindset. Okay. So you have to apply your mindset there, and what uniqueness you have. Don't just force yourself to learn hacking. Hacking is not a thing where you can force yourself and learn a lot of stuff. You might survive for a
Mm.
couple of years, and then you'll feel bored. Okay, you will just start feeling it like, yeah, I'm like someone has forced you to do this. So hacking is like a lot of people in India these days, like in this COVID situation,
Mm-hmm.
they just saw posts on LinkedIn and Twitter, they went ahead, they just learned a couple of things, and they just jumped into bug bounties. And a lot of people, I'll tell you, like 20 30k people, they joined a bug crowd just for money, like they learn a quick bugs. So bug bounty is not about money. The first thing is, the more you learn, the more you earn. So it's not about
I like
you'll
that.
just get into it, you will earn a lot of money. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you will have to spend a lot of time. You can ask people who are into bug bounty since 10 years. They'll tell you how much how much have they have struggled in this field. They have just put their sweat a lot in the bug bounties, and their earnings, you can just see their earnings, right? Like they have earned that
Yes.
much, but you can't see how much they have worked on it to get that money. But the freshers, they don't understand is, for them, hacking or bug bounty is like a game where they can go ahead and earn a lot of money from it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work like that, and courses won't let you learn a lot of stuff. They can just give you a brief intro of hacking or bug bounties, but
Mm-hmm.
you'll never learn the core concept, like how it works. And it's your job to go ahead and research on every topic. Like if you for
Right.
example, if you get a term SQL injection,
Mm-hmm.
you can watch videos and watch videos, learn from courses what SQL injection is, but nobody will tell you how to implement it on a real website. I can just give you in written. Like people will not tell you how it works actually on a website, because it works differently in every condition. It can't be same. No vulnerabilities can
Yes.
be same on two websites. So scenarios will be completely different. So it's all about mindset. So people
Mhm.
who are just spending their 10K to 20K on courses, just save your money. And if you are really interested to spend a few bucks on learnings, I would suggest like there are a few things where you can spend money, and they'll give you good results in learning. Like Pentester Lab is a good resource, and then bugbountyhunter.com. So these two things are really good. You can go ahead and put some bucks on it, like 1,000 or 1,500 rupees in
Mhm.
Indian rupees. So that's a good investment, I guess. So yeah, so that's what I would say for newcomers, if yeah, like for courses and all.
Mhm.
So
Interesting.
yeah,
Bugbountyhunter.com.
yeah, it's a website, like a new platform for G Sono. He's a great guy from UK, and he's
Okay.
a very good friend of mine. So we keep talking about these things, like the courses and all, and
Mhm.
he keeps saying like, yeah, okay, like people, it's good, people are sharing content, they're sharing the stuff for
Yeah.
knowing. But a lot of courses, like I'm not saying all of them, but like almost all of them are just like, they'll just
A,
give you
bi-
the,
a
which is
big number of
simply
them are
simply
fake.
well,
Right. I mean, they're not
fake, and this
like
is
meaning they claim to be all these bug bounty gurus who've been doing this for a very long time, who are experts, who are like the number one in their field, and then they sell their course according to that kind of marketing. They run ads on YouTube claiming that they're some kind of, not just in bug bounty but in cybersecurity in general. I mean, there are so many courses in which they'll tell you, will teach you about cybersecurity, and then they're talking about stuff like they took 500 rupees, and then they're talking about stuff like white hat hackers and black hat hackers.
right,
Do you
right,
see where I'm
right.
going?
Yeah. I absolutely got your point. So what happens? See, people just don't understand. If they see a famous hacker has launched their course, they
Mm,
will see like they must have included their mindset and all. But let
mm,
me tell you, people, everyone has their own mindset and uniqueness.
mm,
So what they have found, you'll never able to find the same thing. You can find the different stuff. They have found the different thing, but two people never can be like same. Okay,
mm,
so it's like everyone has their own mindset. And one thing, like the term is used a lot in bug bounties and hacking, is
mm.
is like methodology. So
Yeah.
methodology is something you create from your own. Like you have more knowledge of yourself than others, then what will work for you and what will not.
True.
So this thing you can build on yourself. So it's not like, don't go for courses blindly. See what it has contained. If you're really curious to spend money, see what it has contained, because a lot of things are already available on internet for free. You can just search on
Mm,
internet, you'll get a lot of stuff which are not even included in courses. So you don't have to spend a lot of money. And I really don't understand how newcomers are spending like 20K for a course just because name bug bounty course, and it will teach you nothing literally. So that's really a problem in our community. But
mm.
uh, like we can't tell every single person. So I have best, if I can just inform some guys not to
Mhm.
spend their like hard-earned money. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, man, how it
Right.
goes.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, I mean, like I said, I mean, I really like our education system. The one bad thing our education has done is that we've got into this habit of spoon feeding. Right. I mean,
Spoon
the
feeding, yeah.
entire curriculum, like again, like everyone's like, how is that possible? Not because of parents and teachers. The system, like we have a fixed syllabus and a CBSE book. Like let's compare our education system with IB. So I used to go for private tuitions for like a month or two in 12th standard because my 11th went terrible. My 11th chemistry was terrible. I flunked my first semester. I barely passed in the final exams in 11th. I mean, out of my friend circle, I was the only one that passed. Everybody else, they flunked their exams that would take a retest. Okay, I was that bad. So I mean, I understood what was going on, but like I was kind of lazy and kind of freaked out because of the jump from 10 to 11. So again, I got a new teacher. She lived right next to my school, and within a month's time, we covered the entire syllabus. And I don't know, things seemed to work between us, and I was able to understand every single thing. And from then on, I actually gained a decent amount of confidence in chemistry. Okay, like I mean,
Yeah,
now I pick up a book. I understood how to study in college because like you're in school, right? So here's what she. I
then
mean, like we used to have these conversations, and there used to be this other. Like she was a private tutor, so she also used to have this IB guy come after my sessions, and she would talk to me that you know how most people in India, they complain about their syllabus being so tough, and oh, they have such a vast syllabus. She's saying that we should be grateful because we know where the questions are going to come from. We have one NCRT, one past question papers. Do all of it, you're good to go for getting good
right,
marks in boards. In the case of IB,
absolutely
they don't even know what the book is gonna be. Like they have a library of multiple books, and the books are very thick. Okay, and it's not like, and they have a particular way to answer the question. Like we here in India, we just write anything gibberish and we underline the keywords. Here, when we check the checkers checking the paper, he's just looking at the keyword from his answer sheet. क्योंकि जो बंदा chemistry check कर रहा है, not necessarily उसको chemistry आती है. It happens a
right.
lot. A lot of time it's actually happened, right? Because you may be a Hindi
It
teacher.
actually happens. Yeah,
It actually happened. Like you're a physics teacher, you've never done, you've barely, you don't remember chemistry as much. You may have done science in 12th grade back in your day, and you look just looking at the keyboard. You're looking at the keyword. So, one thing I realized is that now I realize it. Like back then, I was like it's a good thing because the syllabus is limited. Because back then my only goal was getting good marks in 12. But now that I'm trying to figure stuff out by myself, I realized that I mean, as much as it was good, there was one major flaw that it got me used to this idea that somebody else is going to tell me what all I should study in chemistry, what all I should be knowing about in chemistry. Like I started this podcast because most people didn't know how to have a how to start in cybersecurity. Right, like people want roadmaps and stuff.
right,
So I
right.
bring out different people who talk about their experience and their journey and how they started, because here's what's going on right now. Like here's what I've seen. Like in terms of tech placement, there's IT jobs, and then there's cybersecurity jobs. Like when you talk about how to get a tech placement, you're told stuff that okay, you learn a programming language, you learn DS algorithm, then after DS algo you apply for an internship or you do open source projects, or maybe you do comparative coding. If you're good in comparative coding, it's kind of, I would like to compare comparative coding with IIT JE level kind of competition, you know.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
hard, man. It's really
it's
hard.
very hard to like to be in the top, like you getting like 6-star
Right.
ranking on code chef and stuff.
Five
So
star on hacker rank or
yeah, yeah.
or code chef.
Hacker
Yeah,
rank, yeah, like hacker ranks particularly is easy because the answers are available everywhere. Like I mean,
yeah,
work
hacker
very
rank.
hard.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
code
work
chef is like really
yeah,
great.
yeah, code chef is out
Code
there,
chef is great.
right? So my point here is that after all this stuff, you also have interviews and stuff, and then you get into software industry. Now what are the roles in there? Like we don't know the roles, and there are so many different roles. It's not just front end developer or back end developer. They have different words for these engineers. I don't know these words, to be honest, because I've
Right.
never heard of them, right? So my point is that I want to put it this way. When somebody says how to get placement in software, they're told, okay, just learn all these things. They're told the same thing. Learn DS algo and learn coding, do open source contribution or maybe competitive coding,
Right. Right.
prepare for interview, and you'll get a job with different title. And what's happening in cybersecurity is the other
Right.
way around. Like here in software, there is full emphasis on what you should be doing and not on the end result, on what your job title is. Here in cybersecurity, what I'm observing is that instead of what you're supposed to be doing and what you should be focusing on, right, we're talking a lot about how to become pen tester, how to become cybersecurity consultant, how to become network engineer, how to get into malware analysis, how to get into bug bounty hunting. So are you able to see where I'm going
Right.
with it? Right, so
Right.
I think that's what's missing over here.
Yes.
Right, so like what do you think
So
about this?
no. So see, if you talk about cybersecurity, India in particularly in India, jobs are limited. So if someone is
Mm-hmm.
really interested in malware analysis, he'll not get a lot of job, to be honest, until he has already a job or profile from IT background. Suppose someone is
Yeah, yeah.
a software developer, okay,
Okay.
he can get a job in malware analysis basis of his professional experience of 2-3 years. So either he can get into like code review or stuff. But if you're a fresher and if you're really interested in malware analysis, in India you won't get a job and hardly get a low paying job like 15-20K per month. Because malware analysis is not that much famous. Like in comparing with penetration tester, security consultant, or security engineer, because hacking jobs or infosec we call it. So it is purely focused on penetration testers. So if you are a network security engineer or something like that, you'll need to struggle a bit,
Yes.
to be honest. Yeah, because
Right.
straightforward you won't get a job. Or if like in what happens in UK and US, I have a lot of friends from US, like from Switzerland, 3-4 of them, and they tell like if you're interested in network pen testing, simply you can simply get a job in that particular field in network pen testing,
Right.
not in software developer or something.
Yeah.
But in India, what happens, even if they hire you for like network pen testing, they will give you a job of SOC analyst. Like
Yeah, yeah.
analyst is something like he'll just see the traffics of internet and all the traffics are being going on between the server, and that's quite boring. So in India,
Yeah.
that's a big problem, a major problem in jobs and security, because it's purely focused on like web application pen testing. So that's a problem for freshers, I guess, and that's a major problem. So what people do
Yeah.
is they just join a software developer as a software developer, what we call in a professional way SDE, software developer engineer. So a junior as SD becomes like malware analysis or something in future. If he's really interested, he can get a job in that way only. And you
Right.
and those also in big companies, the huge companies, the like MNCs, not in startups. So that's a really major problem in comparing. Like if you're talking about cyber security jobs, but if you'll come into penetration testing, there are a lot of jobs in India for freshers as well. So
Right.
a lot of companies hire them as a fresher. But yeah, as I said, like if you're really interested in something else, like you are really good at coding and you want to go in code review, so no one will hire you. And code review also comes in security field also. If you are really good at forensics, like cyber forensics stuff, so it also falls under cyber security. But there are very few jobs for forensics, but it is really very necessary to have a lot of jobs of forensics. But see, we have a few jobs for forensics. So
Yeah.
that's how the whole cybersecurity circle works in India. So yeah,
Uh-huh.
so if you're interested in a cybersecurity job, go for penetration tester or something, you'll get a job easily as a fresher. That's an issue actually, that should not be like this, but
I know,
yeah,
because
but
like
yeah.
one of my friends told me that what's going on right now is that most people they just get into red teaming. Like they don't understand networking and basic concepts. Like like in coding, you need to understand coding and DS algo. And in cybersecurity, you need to understand how the internet works. You need to understand what networking is. You need to know the basic concepts. You have to have that basic awareness. You need to know about operating systems, right? You need to understand
Right,
Linux and actually use it. Like what can be done on Linux that cannot be done on Microsoft and Mac OS? What are the special
right.
facilities? And also using the command line. Again, I've had a conversation with one of my friends and on LinkedIn, and he DM'd me saying that people just believe that just because they can use the command line and bash scripting, they call themselves a hacker.
It doesn't work like this. See, the best
Yeah.
hackers are the best programmers as well. If you'll see the best hackers in
Hmm.
this world, whatever they are, then they are behind the stage. Okay, they are just
Right.
not into limelights, but they are really good. They are very good programmers as well, the great hackers.
Mm.
So what my purpose of telling this is, Like if someone is telling like he wants to go into red teaming or stuff, so that's completely based on network pen testing. And for network pen testing, I'm agree, like you don't need to learn, like you don't have to be a pro in programming, okay,
Mm-hmm.
but you need like a very good grasp on networking stuff, the network layers and all, the how packets go, firewalls, the different type of firewalls, how to break them, because red teaming is advanced. Not everyone can achieve that thing, right? And yeah,
Mm-hmm. Right.
I forgot a very good point in cybersecurity. Certifications work a lot in India for a job. So if you have a
Yeah.
good certification, yeah, 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 tell
Mm-hmm.
me.
Right. So like we're talking. I had another one thing I've realized about certifications that they're very expensive.
Expensive, yeah.
Yeah.
In comparing
So
with coding
yeah.
certifications and all.
Like I mean, there's a lot of debate going on everywhere that some people say that if you're a fresher, don't focus on certifications, focus on skills and stuff. Why? Because some people say that when you get into a good company and you're working there for 2 3 years and you already acquire all these skills, you've had these skills for 2 3 years and you've actually become better on them. You make your boss or your manager aware of that your talent in these skills, and they pay for your certification skill. Like let's say you want to crack the OSCP, they'll pay for it because it's very expensive and Indian can't afford OSCP,
Right, right.
right? I mean, it's very expensive. So a lot of the like because companies are like a lot of companies, especially big tech companies, they want their employees to grow and they're ready to invest money to into making their employees better because they know that deep down it's gonna um be better for their company in the long run. And there's
I'll
also
tell you what. Oh, yeah,
on
yeah,
the other
yeah,
hand, they
yeah.
also
Go
have this
ahead. Yeah.
debate that oh, maybe not all companies want to do that yet because they're also afraid that the guy will leave us when he's through with the exam. He's only here for the money, right? And there's some people who
Right.
just say that figure a way out to give fund your own OSCP. I mean, then there's also some people who say that okay, you want money for cracking all these big certifications. Like let's say when CEH, certified ethical hacker. Some people just say that okay, if you're really good, why don't you get into bug bounty hunting, make some money, save, and then fund it yourself.
Right, right.
Right?
That's
Even that
also a
works.
point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So see, there are 2 points. There are really 2 points if you're going for a job. So what
Mm.
happens in working culture is, if you're working for a product-based company, they will never ask you for a certification because they have hired you on your skills. The first thing first,
Yeah.
they have hired you on your skills. For
Mm.
suppose, for example, if you're going for Microsoft or Facebook type of companies, or the big MNCs like I would say Intel, IBM, and stuff. So these companies will never ask you for a OSCP or OSWA certification because they
Mm.
know, like if you are with them, you'll work great. But in the other side, if you're going for a client based company, or we call it service based, for example Deloitte, or EY or something, so they have
Mm.
clients, okay. So now they want their consultants to be certified. So
Yeah.
if you will have a certification, they'll show your certification to their clients, and they'll get more money from it. So that's the
Mm.
basic concept of
Yeah. Yeah.
certification
So
and
there's also
like
this image perspective
jobs.
that you make a good impression on your client in a service based company.
Right, right.
Right.
Exactly. So if you have a OSCP, suppose we two are working in Deloitte. So
Mm.
Deloitte is a service-based company, and it's huge. It comes under big four IT companies, the IT firms of world.
Yes.
Okay, the not product-based, the service-based companies. Okay.
Okay.
So these are the service-based companies like Deloitte, EY, then PwC, and one more is there. I forgot the name. So my concept is, like, if we two are working in Deloitte, now you
Right.
have OSCP and I don't have. But client's demand is, we need a consultant who has a certification. So now you have
Okay.
a certification. You will go ahead. You will be
Mm.
paid more than me, and you'll go
Right.
ahead. And that's the concept for like service-based companies.
Mm.
So it works like this. But on the other hand, if we both are, suppose we both are working in Facebook or Google, We don't need any type of certification. The Google security team, the whole security team don't have certifications because they know that their people are so good. Like no certification can judge them. Either their
Mm.
choice. They will never
Yeah.
force them to be certified on something. Yeah,
Yeah. That's interesting. I mean, no,
yeah,
I mean
man.
that
So
this one just hit me. Like no one in Google has a certification. That sounds interesting. Okay, I mean
yeah,
it
like
sounds
if
different.
yeah,
Cool.
and Google has a like Google has a policy, Google Tech and all. Like they don't need your certification. Whatever certificates what you have passed, even
Mm.
if you are a first student, they'll hire you. The Google and Tesla, as they told in their like job description already, they have never mentioned you need a 12th or like graduation degree because they have simply a policy like if you have skills, work with us. That's the only
Mm.
thing they need. If you have skills, pass it and work with it. Work with
Mm.
us. They'll never ask you how much you have scored in 12th or in graduation. They'll never ask. So if you
Okay.
have skills, go ahead. Yeah,
Impressive. Sounds like
yeah,
fun. Hmm.
yeah. So
Wow.
now you would probably like to go ahead and try in something like that, Google or stuff.
I don't know. I'll see. I mean,
In
I'm
final
just
year.
in second year right now. We'll see if I'm good
No, I'm
enough. I'll
telling you,
go for
you
it.
have time.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I mean, here's what I'm concerned about. Like, we talk about doing whatever you can in college because you're supposed to do make the most out of these next. I only have like 3 years left now. My first year went online, so I only have 3 years left now. And I want to make the most out of it. Here's what I'm concerned about is that we want to do so many different things, and here's what a lot of my friends are also doing. Like a lot of people in my college, like we haven't met each other physically, like, because they haven't come to the campus yet, right? Because I already live
Yeah,
in
man.
Pune. I'm in Pune, and my campus is in Pune, but they haven't come to Pune yet. So
Okay.
here's what's going on right now. So they're trying to do so many different things. Like they are learning Java data structure algorithm on side. They are also learning JavaScript, and they're practicing on free code camp. Then they're also doing a course on Udemy. They also subscribe register for a course on edX or Edureka. And they are also
Yeah.
part of different college clubs. I mean, I am not a part of any college club because they didn't have any when stuff opened up. And now I found out that a lot of those clubs were actually open. But again, like they also do a lot of club work. So what I'm noticing in them is that they're doing so many different things. They're exploring and kind of extending themselves, which is a good thing. But again, even they have this fear that they're trying to do so many different things. They're not able to exactly pick one and go deep in
Right.
becoming highly skilled in one particular thing.
Yeah. Yeah, what I would say is you must focus on a single thing in that stage. For example, suppose I'm just giving an example. So suppose you are good at Java. Okay,
Mm.
I'm not going into security thing right now. So suppose you're good at Java. So become that better in Java. Like no one can do the stuff you can do. Okay, so
Mm.
be that much better. So on the same on the same on like it applies to any other stuff. Like if you want to go into security field, be
Yeah.
as good as like no one can do the stuff you can do. So
Hmm.
that like you could believe on yourself, like yeah, you have really learned something. So it
Yes.
should not be like you've learned half of Java, then half of Python, then you went on data structures. You went half you learned half of it, then you went into security field. So
Hmm.
it will just create a chaos, like time of interviews and stuff, or
Hmm.
like any phase in like in your future. Like
Right.
now you will doubt on yourself, like you haven't completed a single thing right now. So that's the thing you should do. And like any other student who is in college or is like has done really good in like their academics or in interviews has focused on a
Right.
single thing a lot.
Yes.
So they have at least one thing which in which they are really good at. They are really good at a single on a single thing, and they have grasp on it. For example, if you are really good at data structures, learn everything of it, every single thing. Like if I'll ask you something from the, like data structures, you'll straightforward answer to me,
Mm,
and that's how learning should go. And that's what I do. These days as well. Like if I pick a vulnerability,
mhm.
I just learn everything of it. Like if there is a vulnerability, I should exploit it. It should not go anywhere from me. Like I
Right.
checked it, it went through, someone else found it, and
Mm.
it should not be like that. So my concept was like you should be very good at something, on a single thing at least. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Right. Like you have to be good at one particular thing. Wow, we've had a
Focus on
very
one thing
long
on at
episode.
one time.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah,
One
man.
thing,
Yeah,
one thing at
it's
one
been a
time.
while now.
Yeah, yeah, it's been a very long episode. Wow. Okay. I just want to ask you to, one more thing, and then I think we'll wrap this up. Um, what are the
So,
future plans for Manus Hurst? Like, what does he plan to do right now, the next 2 3 years?
yeah, that's a great question actually. So I have planned a couple of things. Like the bug bounty thing is going on for sure, for 5 10 years for sure, and
Uh-huh.
then we have something like I'm just thinking about launching a platform or something like a stuff for newcomers. Like it will be
Mhm.
unique. It will not be the same like others, but there would be concepts where they could learn the real stuff, and it will be for free. There will be no
Okay.
cost for it. Like
Wow.
I don't want people to spend a lot of money from something which they can already find on internet, right?
Hmm.
So the future plan is, if I get a team or something like that, because you can't do a lot of stuff from you like from alone. Like
Hmm.
if you don't have a support stuff,
Hmm.
so you can't do everything on your own, right? So I'll see if I get a few guys who's
Hmm.
we will create a platform kind of stuff, where
Wow.
we can provide the real knowledge, like
Wow.
labs and all.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it will be free, that there will be no cost. And other things are like blogs are going on, the knowledge sharing is going on for sure, the podcasts are,
Yeah, yeah.
I have a couple of guests from
Mm.
US, a couple of great guests from there. The podcast has
Right.
been scheduled already, and it
Mm.
will be coming in next month. And yeah,
Right.
the all
Okay.
the related hacking related stuff. Yeah.
Wow. So, like, what do you do on your podcast?
On my podcast, we talk about simple bug bounty stuff. All
Uh-huh.
it's particularly focused on bug bounties.
Okay.
There is nothing except bug bounties. So our
Mm.
guests are from like they have a very good grasp on bug bounties, and they share the real knowledge, not the
Right.
fake ones. And like they're really good at it. The last episode of mine was D Sonu.
Mm.
He was number 2 at bug crowd on whole world, and
Wow.
he is very good in bug bounties. Yeah, so he is
Mm.
the number 1 hacker from UK, and
Wow.
he's really good at it. So my next episode would be like that, like a black hat hacker named his name is Doggy. Okay, so if
Doggy.
you'll search it on internet, Doggy G or Doggy. So
Okay.
what he did was
Nice name.
he had the US government, and got caught behind the bars. So he came
Oh.
from jail, and start hacking, like doing bug bounties. He earned more than $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
So he is really good at it, and he has been doing this thing since 20 years or so. So he is really good, and these are kind of stuff which will be going on in upcoming days. And
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
That sounds pretty impressive, man. I'm really happy for you. I mean,
thanks.
you're doing great, and I really appreciate the fact that you're gonna be building a platform free of cost. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
man,
really hope
plans
that
are there.
most, yeah, I know you'll get there. We'll get there. If you find the right teammates, I hope you get there, because that's gonna bring
Yeah,
massive
man.
value addition to the society. And I
Right,
wish
right.
you right. Okay, so just before I wish you luck, three things you want to leave us with. Just three random things. Just say any three things that you want to leave my audience with.
Okay. So first thing would be persistence, and second thing is like your mindset, the positive mindset you need to have, and the
Yes.
consistency in your work. Like, don't just leave anything in between. If you're making a stay focused on it, it should not be like you like you planned a goal, you worked on it for a couple of months, then you
Mhm.
like left it behind. So
Yeah.
consistency is really important. One thing. Second thing is positive mindset. Like, if you have to just stick with something, okay,
Okay.
like there could be a lot of like obstacles and obstacles in your goals. Just stick with it, and just stick and you'll complete it. And third and most important thing is like respect everyone in your journey. That's really
Mhm.
important, because stay humble. Being humble is a really great thing, or you can do as a human being. So that's really important.
All
So
right.
these
I really
three
like that.
things
Yeah.
are like, yeah,
Persistence, consistency, mindset, and respect for all. I really like these
right.
things, man. I think everyone should adopt these things in their life. Thank you for being on my show, Manas. I really had a
Yeah,
wonderful time.
man.
I mean, I don't like, generally a lot of times I'm kind of tired after doing a recording. I mean, I was really tired. I was like, maybe I'll ask you if I could post because I was kind of really tired today. Like, I had my gym also in the morning, in the afternoons, in the evening, excuse me. And I was very tired today. I was like, maybe I'll skip it. But then I just sucked it up and decided, like, okay, I don't care. I'm going to do this. And I'm really glad I did. Okay.
That's a humbleness, man. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I actually feel more energetic and relaxed after this talking to you. And I really had a great time. Thank you for being
Thanks,
on my
man.
show, Manas. And I wish you good luck for your future endeavors.
Likewise, man. Take care and do the great stuff in your upcoming journeys. Take care, man.
Thank you, man. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.